In this video, Joe and former CIA spy and American hero John Kiriakou break down some of the basics of the CIA's MK-Ultra program.
Is there any other way that, like, I know that MK-Ultra experimented with a lot of drugs and a lot of different techniques involved in whether it was trying to find the truth out of people or getting people to commit acts. Did they ever implement something where they would give someone something?
That's a good question. The short answer is yes. Not in the very beginning, but they were working with things like truth serum and different drugs like relaxation drugs, gabapentin, stuff like that to sort of get you to open up. But remember, too, that the agency got in such trouble in 75 and 76 before the Church Committee and the Pike Committee about MK-Ultra, that as soon as Senator Church said, don't destroy the documents, the director went right back to headquarters and ordered them to destroy everything. And so only about 20% of the MK-Ultra documents still exist. So we don't really know exactly what it was that was learned in that program, like what worked and what didn't work. We hear these stories about, dosing the fog-laden air of San Francisco just to see if everybody gets sick. We've all read the stories about this bakery in France where apparently we dosed the bread and everybody in the village went nuts.
The 1951 Pont Saint-Esprit mass poisoning, known in French as Le Pain Maudit, took place on the 15th of August, 1951, in the small town of Pont Saint-Esprit in southern France. More than 250 people were involved, including 50 people interned in asylums, and there were 7 deaths. In his 2009 book, A Terrible Mistake, the investigative journalist Hank P. Albarelli Jr. writes that the Special Operations Division of the CIA tested the use of LSD on the population of Pont Saint-Esprit as part of its MK Naomi biological warfare program in a field test called Project Span.
But we don't really have fulsome documentation that we could have used operationally while interrogating prisoners.
So just to avoid prosecution, they figured out a way.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And so then whatever they did learn is lost.
Yeah, it's lost.
If there was something, whether it's MDMA or LSD or whatever they give people.
They worked with LSD for 20 years, at least. Yeah. At least 20 years. There was an operation, it was a sub-operation of MK-Ultra, where they rented a Safehouse in San Francisco. They recruited a bunch of hookers and had them go out and pick up Johns, bring them back to the Safehouse where they thought they were going to get laid, dose them with LSD, and then interrogate them and try to get them to give up their deepest secrets. It's like
Midnight Climax.
Yeah, Midnight Climax, exactly. Yeah. It's like, nobody's agreed to do this. You haven't informed them properly. These are American citizens. You can't just take people off the streets and force LSD down their throats.
Well, they were running the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic.
Yeah,
until right after, a month after Chaos by Tom O'Neill came out. Yeah.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. Yeah, my
Craziness.
My wife's mom went there. She was a hippie in San Francisco.
Wow.
She went to the Haight-Ashbury Free Clinic.
Oh,
it was run by the CIA, which is so crazy. And it's totally connected to Manson, the Manson family.
Manson. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Manson was a part of it as well.
It's so nuts. And they wouldn't have even known about that until they found a stash of documents that connected it all together.
And just think of what's been destroyed.
Right.
What we could have learned.
Exactly. We only know a small fraction of what was done. So is it a case of just they're not elected, they're put into power, presidents come and go, and over the course of their career, 20 years plus, they just have so much power and so much ability to get things done that they just bypass the law?
I think that's the whole story right there in a nutshell. When I was there, I remember being shocked by some of the old timers who had been there for as long as 40 or 42 years. There was one in particular, he was the National Intelligence Officer for Warning. So he was the one that was supposed to say, I'm worried about what Libya is going to look like 10 years from now. And then somebody writes a paper about it. He had been there for 42 years. He had to get a waiver from the director because he had aged out. Well, these guys make no secret of their belief that they can outweight pretty much any president. Presidents come and go, and these guys are there forever. And so if the president wants them to do something that they don't want to do, they just slow roll it. Just wait until he leaves.
Guys, I'm pretty sure this isn't how a democracy is supposed to be run.
And that's the end of it. You know, that's why I say, I've said this in interviews a lot. There is a deep state. You don't have to call it the deep state if you don't want to. You can call it the state. You can call it the federal bureaucracy. You can call it whatever you want. The fact is, it exists. And it's unelected. And it's generally unaccountable to anybody. And they just wait for the president to leave if they don't want to do what he wants.